Welcome into the Shelia Smoot Show. I am Shelia Smoot, and I am with attorney John Robbins. John Robbins, Crime of the Week. John, how are you today?
I'm doing great.
Always looking.
Saturday. It's a Saturday, and I'm a little casual. I know.
People are intrigued by attorney Robbins and his day-to-day dealings outside of his daily dealings in the courtroom and in his office where we sit right now. It's nice in here. It's really eclectic in this office. I like the exposed brick. And that must have been, you know, John, you do criminal law, and that looks pretty criminal right there. Is that a, looks like you could get caught in that and die.
That is from the hood of a car.
Really?
Some people think it belongs at a piano, but that's a piece of iron. One man's art is another man's junk.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. One man's junk is another man's art.
This is cool. I like it. And I like this topic. Folks, we're going to talk about when your kid gets in trouble on a college campus, when your kid potentially may get in trouble on a college campus. It goes anywhere from being too drunk at a bar and stumbling home and getting in the car and getting a DUI, under the influence of other substances, maybe stealing a Gatorade from your roommate. You can't do that. You're in a pod, you live in a common space, and you go in their room. There's all kinds of scenarios that go from the most minute to murder.
Right.
Minute to murder, literally.
Well, the most things you see from college students are going to be DUIs, possession of small amount of marijuana. Mm-hmm. What you see more are sexual assault type cases.
Oh yeah, I got to throw that in.
And domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so if your child, is going to college in another state, okay, and just because of the nature of the times, I think it is wise for a parent. One, if the parent has a family lawyer.
A family lawyer, like somebody that you've dealt with regularly?
And it could be, family lawyer. Could be, I needed a will.
In your own
I
hometown,
needed
basically.
a power of attorney, handled a real estate transaction, some contractual work. So you have a family attorney, kind of like if you have a family doctor, okay? It is wise to contact that lawyer and say,
That's good.
And say, hey, my child's going to college at this university. It's out of state. Okay. Could you recommend
That's good.
a local lawyer who could handle these minor things? And it could be a speeding ticket. It could be, again, it could be small possession of marijuana, a DUI, or a public intoxication. Okay, open container. That's a charge here in Alabama. Is that it's kind of like, it's one of those things you know who to contact in the event that you need it. Hopefully you never need it.
But it's kind of like getting set up, not for failure, but just making sure you're
just
not
making sure.
off guard.
So you ask your local lawyer who has the ability then to make inquiries and say, here's a couple of names of some lawyers in case we need them. I am sure that the student office at most universities, bigger universities, would have recommendations of lawyers. So I think that's one of those things that parents these days to, hey, you're sending them off making sure they have everything they need, and just,
John.
find a lawyer that to contact if you need it, and you pray as a parent. You're a parent. I'm a parent. We went through that. Let's pray. Hey, we're never going to need them.
Right.
But
but things happen.
things happen.
And you know what? You just said something about, I didn't even think about the open container. Because your kid has a car, you're not really supposed to have a car on freshmen. But if you happen to jump in a car and you have an open container, because a lot of these kids don't know, you cannot open a beer, take a swig, jump in the car and keep the beer with you. It's not like a soda, folks. It's not like, and then you cannot put it in your cup with the lid. That's still open container, right?
Yeah, it's still an open. That's still an open container.
I mean, the red cup thing where the kids drink out the red, I get it, but you can't have alcohol in that. And even in your flask, a lot of flasks have been around for centuries, I think.
They have.
But you're coming from a football game. You're already stumbling, bumbling, and fumbling. And you got the flask. You get in the car. You got the flask. And somebody else is driving. So everybody, we got to check the car. And you obviously know the guy in the back is drunk. And has the flask. Don't panic, right? Don't panic. But, John, is that open container, the flask?
The flask, it is not, if it's not open, it is not necessarily an open container. But we also have, in Alabama, a minor in possession of alcohol.
So now your 17-year-old about to turn 18 is in violation. Because I thought the alcohol law in Alabama was 21, but now it's 18.
No.
No? It's
No.
21?
To legally drink in the state of Alabama, it is 21.
Right, to legally drink.
To legally drink.
Alcohol.
To legally be in possession of alcohol is 21.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we know that college students are going to go out and get their
17,
beer,
18,
18, and they're going to, and especially in big universities that are involved in major college football and basketball, and
With frat houses.
frat houses,
Other houses, we know.
and whether we want to admit it or not, but we're just going to be honest, that is a major draw for the University of Alabama. People who come
In Auburn.
in Auburn,
And all the other big schools. We're not leaving anybody out, but go ahead.
right? But in Georgia, and people come from the Northeast or the Midwest or California, and they come to, and I'm just using Tuscaloosa as an example. They come and wow, this is a beautiful campus.
It's big.
It's huge. There is a lot of things to do. Okay.
The strip is real.
There's a lot of things to do. You have a major college football program. Heck, they made a movie out of it. You can go to the movie theaters.
It's like, I want to go there because they're having a good time.
They just released it yesterday or Thursday, this movie about Alabama football. And it is huge. It's a fun environment for young kids.
Gosh.
And
For me, it's college.
and not in the, this may sound bad.
But it's you, so go right ahead. We're used to it.
The young ladies are really attractive, and
Yeah, that's
they're concerned about how they look. They take pride in the way they look.
Right.
So you got these young men coming down from New Jersey or New York and say,
Sean's
"Wow,
from New Jersey.
wow, these are pretty girls."
Yeah.
And you got good-looking guys there for the girls, and so it is a college atmosphere.
And they're youth. They are youth.
young.
They are not seasoned people.
And also, you get a really excellent education if you want it, and you
If you can get
apply
past
yourself.
all that.
Apply yourself. but that environment is part of college.
It
of
is.
enjoying that and learning how to balance the social aspect of college, and while you're there is to learn and study. And just because they stray a little and they get in
Off
trouble,
campus.
doesn't mean they're bad people. Again, and I preach this, I preach it. There's no reason to get a DUI. There's absolutely no reason
With
to get a
Uber and Lyft.
DUI.
And,
God invented Uber so you don't have to get a DUI. And I know the University of Alabama has this, and I'm sure all big university has it. They provide transportation to get you back to your dorm or
if you had a
your
little bit
apartment.
too much.
If you had a little too much.
On a college campus. Now, going outside of that college campus, because I was at Michigan State University, and it's contained. And I actually live next door to DPS, which is Department of Public Safety. I just live next door to the public safety and the fire guys, and they were all young too. But that was our police department. But then when you went out of that perimeter onto the streets of East Lansing, city police, I will say, with everything is outside, all the bars, all the eating places, and it's active, and I loved it. I always go back for homecoming, by the way. But guess what? I just know, honestly, the East Lansing police it was not a mandate to bother students back when I went to school. It just wasn't. You see them, they see you coming out.
But the climate has changed.
But the climate has changed. What is going on?
The climate has
Where
changed.
they're keying in on college students,
is,
mainly
I
football
think-
players and others.
I think, the Tuscaloosa Police Department is a little heavy-handed with college students, okay? So I think it's a different environment. When your parents sent you to Michigan State, big football program. Nick
I had a
Saban.
good time.
Nick
Yeah.
Saban
He
coached
used to
there.
coach there, yes, and I was on the dance team. Yay!
And Tom Izzo
Oh, yeah.
is an
Hey.
icon
Basketball.
of college basketball.
And then there's the hockey kids, because we get ice and snow.
And so
Yeah, they really are
Your
over the top.
parents didn't think,
They did not.
you know what, I'm going to need a criminal defense lawyer. Just one, need to know one. Call. My mom didn't think about
I
that.
did not think about that as a student. I didn't think about that.
Because my mom mentality was, if you get arrested, don't call home. They can keep you.
Yeah.
Because if you got arrested, I don't want to hear it.
Yes.
I'll
yeah.
I'll tell the police, just throw the key away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the mentality I grew up in. Probably some.
I did
of your
too.
parents.
Oh, yeah, they weren't coming to get me.
It's different now. It's different
Yeah,
now.
it's different.
So it's wise for parents to just where your student is going to school is, before you need one, just find a local lawyer that you can call in the event of an emergency. And the best way to go about it is, one, if you have a family lawyer, ask them, they can locate. Go through, the university, the student office. I'm sure they have, student affairs office. They may
That's good.
have recommendations.
They have a judicial affairs, but that's for student misconduct on the campus.
Or just get on the internet and, Google some lawyers.
John, I never thought I'd have this conversation about trying to protect your kid on a college campus on the criminal side of it. But it has, with these major schools and these major programs, it's a little different. And then there's rural areas where, I think that colleges have had relationships with the police, county and city, because they're both different. And they've had some kind of conversations over the years. It had to have happened. Because I remember people I'm like, how did they even get home how do you even get back in this dorm? Stumbling in. But it had to be an unwritten rule. If it's our student, call our Department of Public Safety and let us figure something out with the parent, because ultimately when you drop your kid off to a major program or just a college campus, my thing is, hey, you got my back, you got my child's back. I trust this administration understands, and that's at any location where there's a college campus, in a football game or basketball or something exciting, definitely the frat party.
And you hope.
And then there's hazing.
Right, and you hope you instilled enough values in your child that they will most times exercise decent judgment. I reckon. Look, my children didn't always exercise.
Oh, I know mine didn't.
Always exercise
Choices.
Great judgment from time to time. I was lucky. Is my children survived that, and they've given me gray hairs about it, but is that they have survived, and it is tough for parents these days. And what is more that you see more and more now on college campus is sexual assault allegations.
You see that, or people are recording it or talking more openly about it.
That is a serious charge that can ruin, if it's a false allegation.
Oh,
That's something that can ruin somebody's life.
So talk to your students too about, and I'm not keying in on one gender or another gender, but honestly, talk to your students about behavior.
Their
own behavior.
Their own behavior.
And in any situation, because alcohol and other substances can cloud, for lack of a better word, the judgment. And what you think may be just fun and games and this was consensual and da-da-da-da, the other person may say, I didn't consent to anything. And then there's alcohol and substances involved. So then the judgment, John, on both parties is skewed.
It is.
It's gotta be.
And the number of they're called Title IX investigations, whereas there's an allegation of sexual misconduct involving two students, and many times the university tries to handle it in-house to ensure that the allegations are correct, and if they are correct and there's something there, they will then turn it.
Especially on a campus, if things happen on the campus, in the dorm room,
and I've handled them
at the frat house.
I've handled them from Sanford University to UAB to Tuscaloosa.
I just found this out, that I had a background in this.
I've handled them with the college administration, and
this is an interesting conversation. This is interesting because I did not realize that you had those type of cases, and I'm not saying I didn't think that you would handle cases like that, but this whole thing about your kid on a college campus is a real conversation, folks. And welcome in. I'm Shelia Smoot, the Shelia Smoot Show with Crime of the Week. Attorney John Roberts. We're talking about how do you find a lawyer with that when your kid goes to a college campus. Now, fast forward. The kid has done something. Something is not going right, and you now have to. This person has been charged, arrested, and now they have either not. You had one that it wasn't a college student, but they couldn't bond out. But then you've had cases where they did bond out. Right. But they're living. Do they have to stay there, or is there some provisions for them to come back and forth or video the?
If the student is charged, okay, the first thing the student should do is contact their parent. Okay, actually, the first thing that the student should do is not say anything.
You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you do.
Just say this: I want to speak to my parent. Okay, that's all that. I want to speak to my parent. Don't let any police officer bully the student. I want to speak to my parent. Get the parent involved. The parent gets the lawyer involved, and then the lawyer can intervene and be the buffer, find out what's going on, and the child. The child or the student, I can call him a child. I mean, I'm sure a college student doesn't want to be called a child.
The student of record.
does not like to be called that,
But you are somebody's child, but I know you think you're grown until you get in trouble.
Is the student needs to be protected. And there are things in place that protect students, young people, we call it youthful offender status, which seals records, which if somebody is considered a youthful offender is not considered a crime. And there's a lot of things that under the law that protects young folks, okay? But they're not going to know that without having a lawyer involved, and a competent lawyer. So if they get arrested, don't say anything other than, I need to speak to my parent. Tell the parent, hey, I've been charged. The parent tells him, don't make any statements. Certainly don't make any don't talk about anything over the phone, because those things are recorded. And the parent get a lawyer involved immediately. Get the lawyer involved to protect the student. And there are, with DUIs, with minor in possession of alcohol, with misdemeanor possession of marijuana, there are things in the judicial system, in the court system, that provide avenues for the student to, go through certain programs, go through the court system, and they're not kind of labeled for the rest of their life. Okay? You can't handle it by yourself. You may think it's a minor thing. You can't handle it by yourself. Heck, the district attorney of Harris County in Houston, daughter goes to Swanee, but she has to driving from Houston going to Swanee in Tennessee. You have to drive 5920.
Yeah, it's a tough stretch.
And the daughter liked to speed.
Okay. How many miles an hour over the limit?
She was going over 90.
Okay. Young people love that.
And
they arrest her because she was way over that.
Yeah, and so
did they have to arrest her?
Called me. I got it resolved. They dismissed the ticket.
Okay.
College student, and
a kid going on the music. I used to have a lead foot, John, and I did get a ticket, and it was the last one I've ever gotten actually on speeding, because I told the officer, she just stopped me because of the car I had. I actually fought that ticket and won myself. But
you went to law school, so you should be able to.
That was before I even knew I could go to a law school.
But
I got my first job and I was running late.
If the quote defendant lives out of state, okay, in this day and age, the court will allow you to go to your home state. Minor things can be handled.
Video arraignments, do they do a lot of that here?
They don't do a lot.
I wish they would.
As much as we did during COVID.
Yeah.
But things like that are available. There are, you can handle certain cases in what we call in absentia, but there's a certain procedure that can be handled, and a lawyer would know how to do it. So there is ways that you can handle minor matters, if they are out of state, without them having to come back. A serious felony charge, unfortunately, you're just going to have to come back.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just have to come back.
You're just going to have to come back.
A serious felony charge, you're just going to, the misdemeanor stuff, the minor stuff, you can get around that.
You can get around that.
You got a client right now that sat and sits until, it's crazy. I think people are kind of concerned about, and I won't go into that client right now because we don't have the time, but who's just sitting there? who can't get bond. But it's more on I don't know what that charge was. Was it attempted murder or murder? With the student, well, he's not a student, but he's with a student, and they're both
murder.
still.
They're murder, yeah.
So that you're not going to be able.
No.
You just have to keep. And congratulations, you could for continuing to petition that, because that's just a hard thing for a lot of people to deal with, because that was one of those situations where you send your kid to a major place and friends, cousins, sisters and brothers that are not enrolled. It's not your campus. I hate to say that. Yeah, you might want to visit, but be clear. This is not, if you want to go to college, enroll to go to college. Because in my opinion, and I'm just doing this as we wrap this segment up, if you are not a student at that college, you have no business hanging out on the strip in those universities, and each one of them, we all have those locations where college students, because college students want to be around college students. If I want to be around you, as I told my cousins and an ex-boyfriend, no, you can't visit me. You don't go here. You go to Bowling Green. But we were both college students visiting, and there's a standard that we know that we get at orientation. This is college. If you want to hang out with your friends, go back to your original place of residence, which is not your college campus. And I think that's what the problem is. So, John, how do we get it? And that's just my 2 cents. How do we get in touch with you? Go ahead. You got one
Get
more
in touch
time.
with one thing I'd say.
Quickly.
Do not hang out in these bars, in these clubs, on the strip, anywhere with a gun. Do not bring a gun. You don't need it. Stop playing with guns. How to get in touch with me is it's 205-835-6818. It's 205-835-6818. That's 24/7. Best way to get in touch with me, send me a text message. I will get back to you.
And be brief. I'm Shelia Smoot with the Shelia Smoot Show. You are listening to the segment with attorney John Robbins. John Robbins' Crime of the Week. When your kid gets in trouble on a college campus, hopefully that'll never happen to you. But just in case, call him up and don't get a gun, John.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer. I'm Shelia Smoot. We'll see you next time.